He's laughing. This guy.
Annie? It's nothing to do. I was trying to think of Annie. I tried to think of what could be the furthest.
We literally.
So every
Is that
week,
Luthen doing
it was supposed to be Luthen doing Watto.
right.
Yeah, it was Luthen doing Watto. It would be Cassie and Andy.
Cassie and Watto.
Cassie and Annie. Annie?
Cassie and
Welcome
Annie.
back to... So, for anybody who watches the podcast regularly, we usually have a quote that has something to do with the episode, something to do that's tied in.
Something.
Right.
And I was thinking, there are some good quotes. I actually wrote down a few quotes from the episode.
Decided not to use any of
But
those.
then I thought, instead of doing that...
Let's ruin it.
Then what am I going to talk about later?
Right.
So I can't use all of my stuff. So I thought...
That's all my material.
I thought that Luthen Watto would be the way to go.
Guys,
So,
what a way to start.
welcome back to the Star Wars Guys podcast. I am not doing the intro. Nate, take it away.
Uncle, take it away.
Hey, all right. Welcome back. As you can see, we never edit anything. This is it.
This is
what we
great.
do.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Force family. We're glad
Except we
you're
are
here.
all de-aged. We should let them know that.
We should.
Except for me.
They just finally, eventually,
I'm aged.
we put the microphone down and, take off, and all of a sudden we just all decay.
Fall into
That's it.
dust.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Joe's
Oh, no.
already in the chat.
All right.
We're off to
Marksy
a-
in the chat says, let's go. I got one thing to say and one thing only.
Oh, save it because we want you to be here for a little while.
Yes,
He
don't say,
already said it.
say it about 30
Oh.
minutes in.
He already said it.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Grogu loves blue cookies.
Grogu loves
Oh,
blue cookies.
does that mean... Ba, 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 ba. That's the win.
Yeah.
That is.
You're
That,
not realizing
oh,
it.
my gosh.
That's
That's
the
it.
win.
That is the
Nate
win.
remembered.
That is the wait a second.
The axe forgets and Nate doesn't remember.
That is awesome.
Is
Of his
wait, does he get
choosing.
to choose?
Of
He
his
Joe?
gets to choose. That means
This is the best part of this.
Here's
Is
the
that we
first
have
one
a
for those-
live negotiation with him in the chat right
It
now.
Oh, it's great.
for those of
Where
you
he-
wondering if you're watching this back, what just happened? Joe said our key phrase
Yes,
from
yes.
our last or one of the last two episodes, the
Right.
key phrase to win part of our giveaway, which was either a Luke and Grogu Funko or a Star Wars phone case.
At
Okay.
first,
So he
it
can
sounded like he
choose.
said a Luthen Grogu,
Luthen Grogu.
Luke.
which would be great. Luke and Grogu.
Cassie and
But
Grogu.
now I'm thinking Cassie and Grogu.
I
Cassie and
Grogu.
everything is
love it.
slightly mispronounced.
J-Man.
I
I
love
love
it.
it.
Do
I
we
love
know
it.
what the size of the phone cases are?
I think we
That may
got-
influence his decision.
That's true.
That is
That's
true. I guess we need
I
to
think he
be-
might. I got a feeling he might be going with the Funko
Funko.
because I
Ooh.
don't know if he has an iPhone.
All
I don't
right.
think he has an iPhone.
Oh.
We-
Well, no, we should say that these are for flip phones.
Flip phone.
These are for
exactly.
flip
phones.
The,
These are
uh,
actually old BlackBerry phone cases.
BlackBerry
we
phones.
dug
Oh.
up.
The Pearl.
found them.
Love that.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah.
I thought it was like Better Call Saul circa.
Can we mention how he's
Yes.
just holding up
2000.
Vader's mask?
I love. Oh, I thought Nate was gonna say, "Can we mention
He's
Better
just-
Call Saul more
It
often?"
was like I'm holding a dummy.
just holding.
What do you
up
have
the
to say,
mask.
Vader?
Nothing. I have recently
found
retired.
my
James
strength.
Earl Jones will only play Mufasa now.
J-Man
until the
says
end of
Funko
time.
all day. I love
All
it.
right,
Here
awesome.
it is.
Never been opened.
Jay.
Got
Let's
you.
go.
Brand new.
All yours.
Yeah.
Well, we're
There's
glad
Joe's
you're
now.
here. Everybody, we're glad
we
you're
are.
here.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
We are your hosts, Mike, Nate.
Yes.
And you know me
him
well. Uncle.
Uncle. I love how we all go, you know well, and then we think about switching it up, and
Yeah,
then that's why
that's
we all
better.
get kind of quiet. We all go, you know him well.
Uncle.
So then we all go.
Just
we
fall
didn't have-
back
we
to
didn't have
what we
anything
know.
else. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Play it safe.
yeah.
That's my rule.
Do you know what my rule
Always
is?
play it
My
safe.
rule is everyone has their own rebellion. Oh, dang it.
Man,
I shouldn't have
this
used that. That's
guy
later. That's
That
later.
would've been a good
wasted
one to
his only
start with.
content.
You like how I saved it for 3 minutes in?
Yeah.
It's not like he even
Man,
had a
this
big
guy.
reveal.
It's okay.
This
It's
guy.
all right.
We're going to talk about Andor. We thought that would be cool.
Episode
Episode
5.
Episode 5. And we're going to have some fun segments. We're going to throw in some of our favorites. We're going to do maybe a little Would You Rather.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toss that in. We maybe do From the Helmet.
You spice it up a
and
little
then maybe
bit.
we'll do a popcorn impersonation. I just made that up.
All right.
I'll just throw them
I
out.
like
and
it.
You
So,
guys
like
have
our
to
favorite
This is a
impressions
Popcorn
of like
podcast, it sounds like.
snippety snap
our favorite
to the,
impressions of the big popcorn giants like Orville Redenbacher,
Exactly.
Yeah.
the other one.
All the other ones.
The other one.
Jiffy Pop.
I love a good Orville impression. This is
Do
great.
you guys not have that on TikTok? Nobody's doing Orville Redenbacher.
I haven't
No.
seen it.
It would be.
We
a good
could
one
be
to
the
do.
first.
You could do it.
Oh, man.
And
great.
probably
The last.
the last.
I love it. Well, are we starting, Nate? I know you were talking precast.
Precast.
If you wanted to go around quickly and have a little A little Star Wars adventure.
Little Star Wars adventure of the week.
Oh,
yeah.
so yeah, we thought we'd talk
life
about
check-in.
what we call the Star Wars IRL.
Yeah.
Star Wars guys IRL. Like I don't
Star
know
Wars
that.
guys IRL. Star Wars in real life.
In real life.
Real life experiences. Anybody
Experiences.
have what happened in the last week since our last pod? Any Star Wars related?
My son has settled on his Halloween costume.
Oh.
Ooh.
Kylo
Indiana
Ren.
Jones. Oh.
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren.
And he's got the full.
Yeah.
He's made an appearance on the cast as Kylo.
Yes.
Yes.
But he's going to wear that for Halloween. And he brought home an ABC book from the library. Star Wars ABC.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing
That
better.
is fantastic.
Guess what the
Nothing
H
better. I just
is?
finished that one.
H
The H?
is
H is Han.
Han
Hoth.
Solo.
Oh,
Yes.
What's the Q?
Or Han.
Q.
Oh, sorry.
Queen Amidala.
Queen Amidala.
Let's go.
Oh.
Yep.
I was either going Queen Amidala or Kira.
Oh, that
Ooh,
could have been.
true.
Yeah.
You got a few
Yeah,
now.
That's true.
D
That's
for-
true.
Dad Vader.
Dad Vader.
No.
Dagobah. No, I'm just kidding.
Dagobah.
Darth Vader. It's Darth Vader. It's the most obscure version.
For Dantooine.
Yeah, it's
It's L is for
it's Delani
Luthen
is what they put in
instead
there.
of Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just all the. It's all the.
Totally.
Not,
Ever-
Luke,
not
not
the
Luke,
most
not
obvious.
Leia.
Right,
Luthen.
and Andor is
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Love it.
I
Nice.
like
what
it.
about you
Nate,
guys?
anything this week? What do you have going on?
I don't know if I had a big Star Wars, any big Star Wars thing this week. I know you were talking about something that maybe have happened. You got some. I noticed maybe a new shirt you got there.
Oh, you noticed.
Ooh.
So I did get a new Star Wars shirt. It had been a moment since I had gotten one. And anyone who watches the
Andor,
podcast
some would
knows
say.
I love my Star Wars shirts. I had to refrain from buying two today because I actually had another one in my hands too.
Ooh.
Ah,
What
you
was
put
the
it back.
decision between? Maybe we can
The decisions.
speak into it. This
Maybe
one?
we can decide if this was the wrong choice.
Yeah.
Or-
So it was
I like
this. It was this
Yeah.
one, which I really bought this one. I only have one Boba Fett shirt,
Mm.
and it's a little bit big on me and a little bit worn at this point.
Yeah.
But this one a little bit better fit. But I liked the graphic.
font.
The
That's old
font
school
looks pretty
Boba.
cool.
It is.
Yeah.
And so like the look of this one. The other one was very tempting as well. It was a new shirt I had never seen at V Stock,
Mm,
which
that's our place.
was an Obi-Wan Kenobi shirt.
Ooh.
from
but it
the
was
show, from the series.
Not from the series, but it looked like it clearly had been made after. Like it doesn't look like an old shirt, but the main graphic used on it is Obi-Wan on Mustafar,
Okay.
Revenge of the Sith.
Mm.
And then even in the background, there's a little bit of that image of Anakin Obi-Wan like locked arms with their sabers
Ooh.
together on Mustafar. But then it had this cool like logo, like or cool
Should have got it.
words on the side that said like Jedi It says on the thing Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then a little bit of like info about him.
Oh.
So I didn't buy it
Interesting.
today, but there's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get it though before you.
Always
Ooh.
tomorrow.
I also spent about 30 minutes looking at Star Wars Funko Pops today.
Because
Yeah,
how? Well, here's the
Send a
thing. How can you
screenshot.
not?
of that one.
Well, because I know that Joe just
It's taking ours.
We gotta
with the
resupply.
took
win.
the one we have. No, I'm just kidding. We have a bunch.
We have a few.
But yeah, so
They
was looking
were.
at some new ones
Those
today.
were Kenobi.
The new Kenobi series Funko
Funkos
Pops
had-
were out.
had
I sent some
Reva.
pictures.
I saw that.
Tala, we had
Reva.
Roken,
Roken.
Reva, and Obi-Wan himself,
Yep.
old, Ben Kenobi, from that period, and then also there were some cool new Boba Fett Funkos as well from that time period that I hadn't seen from the Boba Fett Book
Show?
of Boba Fett series.
Hmm.
So that's what I did today, and also I watched
Interesting.
Andor. Hey, what a segue!
Ooh, I
That's
watched it
true. I
today
did
too.
watch it twice. Well, I skimmed through the second time.
Did you not like it?
I mean,
I
why?
loved it. I just wanted to get a couple refreshers, go to a certain few points I
Did
liked.
you think there was an Easter egg in
you
it? I will
catching
talk
this,
about
Uncle? You
that later.
catching that snark? A few
I get
points.
it.
A few points that I liked. I wanted to
Hey.
go to those few points that I liked.
Recatch some of the dialogue.
Recatch. He slept through it the first time.
Because you got to put
By the way,
subtitles
anyone
on
watching,
to
this is
pick
my
up-
new
Well,
thing.
that's what happens when you watch it when
Pick
it
up
comes out at
names,
2
right.
a.m. I mean,
When
you
you're
gotta do what you gotta do.
ambitious.
Yeah.
Sometimes
That's
it
true.
happens.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it gets you, and sometimes you burn on the hill of Mustafar.
Into
Mustafar's not a
Andor,
hill, but it's a
episode
volcano.
5. Overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, Uncle. What do you think?
Why am I holding Vader up? I don't know. I just know I saw a mysteriously placed Tidarian shuttle
Yeah.
Oh
for no reason. Like,
What's up with that?
Could be.
That was.
I
would
thought
he
I
be on
heard.
Dun-
I
why
thought
would
I
he
heard
on
a
Dun- I
dun.
don't know why he would be there.
Dun. But it was
But,
real faint. You
yeah, it was
probably
real
had to
faint.
turn up if you guys didn't.
How
have your
about the
volume
fact
up
that they were
all
like,
the
"Oh,
way.
it's just a shuttle. It's going the other way."
Right,
too.
like,
You're
why-
like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I'm
Doesn't
looking at
need to
it.
be on there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know.
How
Why would he
dare
be on
they?
At
that
least for
planet?
now, never came back into play for
How
this episode.
right,
Dare
right.
they?
Right.
They dare.
I
They
bet if
dare.
you zoom in, it would be nobody important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's standing. It's actually the hatch is down. He's
Right.
standing there. You just
You know who it
you gotta
is?
zoom in.
It's the valet. He's bringing around Vader's shuttle. Where should I park this thing? Oh my
He's doing
goodness!
the same thing Mon Mothma's husband. Well, what's his name?
What's his name?
You know his name, Mon Mothma's
Reggie.
husband, Perrin.
Reggie.
Oh, man.
Land by the building.
Led by. You're
So
embarrassing
good.
us. You're embarrassing us. Embarrassing.
This guy.
Nate,
Overall
first
thoughts?
I was hoping we would get to the, I thought we might get to the
battle.
we'll talk. We'll
infiltration.
definitely talk about
But
that.
we know that segments of
Yeah.
three. sets
Definitely
of three.
seems like the segments of 3 is coming
Yeah.
to fruition for sure.
We've established some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got
we'll definitely
Yeah.
talk about the pace or maybe
Yeah.
what happened or what didn't happen in
What
this
didn't
episode.
happen.
Because there's a
Right.
lot that happened, and then like you said, there's also a lot that's like, oh, we know that a lot's right around
Yeah.
the corner. We
Yeah.
know a lot's coming in episode 6
Yeah.
based on how
Yeah.
it's told. Nate, first impressions though.
First impression? I mean, I like this episode. I liked it a lot. I like the fact that that definitely feels different than any other Star Wars show, for sure. I think one of my favorite things about the series so far, and also in this episode, is the fact that we're so used to seeing tons of TIE fighters flying and battling
we
in
talked about
space.
it. Yeah.
Flying and battling. I even tweeted about this earlier. Flying and battling in space, like it's no big deal. And yet this series can take one TIE fighter and make it menacing and like intimidating. Like, oh man. And then you're like, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. I hear the TIE
What are we
coming.
gonna
I'm
do?
like, TIE fighter.
Right.
As if it's like something we haven't seen like 100 of them fight at one
Right.
time. But it's just a testament to the directing, to the the feeling, the music, all of that comes together in
Yeah.
those moments, and it's just great. I like that. That's not the first time they've done it in this series so
No.
far, but it happens again. I'm like, oh man, that's so
I
great.
know.
And it's hard to beat the TIE fighter sound. Let's be
I know.
honest.
And
How-
they make it scary. The sound is loud.
Yeah.
How
That's
about
cool.
the fact that so they've talked about it in obviously we've been familiar as fans with TIE fighters since A New Hope, first time we ever saw them. And it's interesting how in recent years too, how Poe talks about the way, man, this thing really moves, talking about flying a TIE fighter. He talks about it in Force Awakens.
Yeah.
There's something that was like scarier than ever though, because we haven't seen a ton of TIE fighters over land. And sometimes when
That's right.
ships move, you in space, it's like, well, that looks fast, but
The
also there's a
perspective
black.
is hard.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Yeah,
really
you can't
is.
tell.
Perspective's tough because sometimes
That's why Force
X-Wing
Awakens
goes or
yeah.
Millennium Falcon goes
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it comes back. They turn face each
Right.
other, and the way even the original films are shot,
Oh.
George talks about intentionally. He's like, I don't hang on these shots.
Right.
It was kind of
Right.
the opposite of
Right.
of Space Odyssey of the long slow shot. He's like, nope, it's gonna be this, and then you're gonna go, whoa, what was that? What was
Right.
that? And that's kind of what we've seen with TIE fighters. This one, when it comes over that ridge and it's like on near the land,
Yeah.
and then it moves, I immediately like perked up in my seat too of like, that is terrifying to see.
Yeah.
One, how close they are, and like
Mhm.
how they're like, as long as they hid the guns, because they're like, hide the guns.
I know.
But it also was like, I'm surprised some of them didn't get blown back by like
I
just
know.
the speed
Right.
of the wind of that
True.
Well,
thing.
you know, it
That's
just
true.
has to shoot, and
That's
it's
it,
gonna
yeah.
destroy
Yeah, seriously. I was waiting. I was like, is it going to shoot? But I didn't think so.
That
But
would
you're always
kinda-
like, did
right.
it? I don't know.
And the Empire doesn't have to always have a great reason to shoot.
No.
Ah, we thought it was
exactly.
something shady.
Exactly.
Boom.
What are you guys
Right.
doing out here,
Yeah.
bro? Hans YOLO in the chat said, Hans YOLO.
That's a great name.
Or Hans. Hans
Ooh.
YOLO. Says the
He's a
tie was
Spanish
dope.
Hans
I re.
YOLO?
He said the tie was dope. I rewatched it a couple times. Yeah, that
Yeah,
I had to
tie
go
was
back
awesome.
And rewatch that too. No, I mean I loved it, and I also it felt like very like Jaws, like kind of like it's going the other way, and then comes right back into view, and
Just
it's no.
louder.
It's like,
Right.
Jaws goes underwater. You
Right.
think it's gone, and then it hits the boat. So it felt
Mhm.
very like, it's going away. We're watching, and then it comes speeding around back into view.
There's a term for that. They used to do this, and they still do it, but in the olden days,
Back in the olden days,
No, they would call that
Back
a.
in
They
the
would
old
call that
days,
a.
the uncle craves the Serengeti.
did you come
They would
here?
call that a star entrance. So, like you would have the movie going along, and the longer you delay the star entering the movie, the bigger impact it has when they
Yes.
come in.
Yeah.
Jaws is an example of that. So, when similar to when we first see Alec Guinness in episode
Yep.
4,
Mhm.
it makes it elevates him. He comes in the movie. So by delaying all those things, it's making him mean more.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're doing the same thing with Stormtroopers. We haven't seen one.
That's true.
No.
That is
So
true.
as soon as we see
As
that
soon as we see it,
thing, we're gonna be like, "Oh, there it is!" When we couldn't swim
the
a dead
clones,
cat
yeah.
without, and every other right. So it's gonna be
yeah.
they're using that technique to make things sparse. They mean more. I think it's good.
And I
think
think
of the
there's-
way.
Cool.
Same thing with the action, like with the. There's been action. Obviously, we had a huge battle in the middle of the town before
Right.
before Andor had to get out of there.
Yep.
But they've been teasing now this build up to the heist,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So, in going off the whole 3-episode arc type deal, to me, this did feel like a middle episode if it were like a trilogy or
Yeah.
something like that. Like
yeah.
we got dialogue, characters butting heads, truth coming out, Cassian telling them about it was for money. Actually,
Mhm.
that's why I'm here. So what? Let's go with it. Let's still keep going. What are you gonna do? Do it without me? Type deal. And then leading up to the finale of a potential 3-episode arc, which we think is coming in the next episode, would be the heist, and it definitely
Yeah.
feels that way with this episode.
Definitely. It's I guess I'm still on my overall thoughts.
We'll skip it. What do you got?
Go ahead. Give a hit.
My overall thoughts sounds like you guys as well. Really, really liked it, and I do but I like and acknowledge that it's very different. It's not
Yeah.
only different from other shows; it's even different within kind of this show as far as
True.
This is probably the least quote unquote action we've gotten in any of the
Yeah.
episodes yet.
Right.
But also a ton happened
Mhm.
as far as
Character driven.
stuff,
Story driven for
where the team is in relation to Cassian at the end of this episode versus where they are in relation to
Yeah.
him at the beginning of this episode as far as trusting him.
Mon Mothma,
Mon
Luthen,
Mothma.
all of them.
Yes, we didn't get a ton of Luthen in this episode. I was missing
No,
my boy
but
Luthen a
Cyril.
little
Yeah.
bit, but we got
There's
him.
definitely something I want
Some
to
Cyril,
discuss.
yeah. some Cyril having some cereal.
I love cereal. Eat cereal.
I know.
Some Cyril eating cereal
blue
with
milk.
his.
Blue milk on a cereal.
Do you notice
Blue milk and cereal with his
on the
mother.
table?
You're
the,
slouching.
the plate of food.
Ah.
The
Yeah.
plate of food on the table was the
God, uncle.
what's the melons? What's the melon things from Rebels that Ezra always has?
Oh,
on
the
Lothal?
Mailer runs.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was on the table of food.
Yes.
The Mailer runs.
Something
Yeah,
to- over.
Papa.
Yeah. I noticed
Wow.
that on the table.
Keep it down
But-
over
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Little Easter eggs here.
But Ma,
there. I'm just imagining Big Bang Theory. Ma, I'm on the phone. Get out of the house. It's not that at all, but it's
It is.
close. Like
It
she's
is.
in
It is.
there.
what do we? So
not be such a disappointment?
I know.
Do you
To
have
go-
any
let's-
prospects at all?
let's really
Anything.
quickly go to
No,
that.
I'm calling in a
Calling
favor.
Uncle Arthur.
What do we say? Cyril? Cyril? How do you-
Cyril.
Cyril?
Cyril. No, cereal, blue milk?
Cyril Karn?
Yeah.
Where do we think his story's going?
I don't know.
There-
They tease
it's
it with
very
the
interesting
hollow,
that they
the
are
hollow
going
Andor.
good. I don't think he's going good.
No, it's interesting though that he is. I like what's funny
he seems
is
conflicted a little bit, honestly.
he is. When you think of one of the quotes that I wrote down from this episode,
While you look that up, I
Oh.
want to.
everyone has their own
YOLO.
rebellion. See
Oh,
how I
go
snuck
for
that in when he said hold
Everyone
up?
has their own
Which is-
rebellion.
No, I said while you were looking that up. Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own rebellion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What's interesting is that's said obviously by one of the members in the crew with Cassian. One saying why are you into this, and like what's your thing of why you're in, and he talks about he confesses I'm being paid. So and so talks about what's happened to his family, all of these things, but also it's interesting how they keep cutting back and forth between this actual rebellion that's going on, Mon Mothma and figuring out her part of the rebellion as the leader. You get Luthen a little bit in this episode, but then it keeps going back to Cyril and his all of his power and identity kind of stripped away. with the Empire taking in seizing control over the corporation, and now he's like patted on the head and said, "See you later." Sent home. Basically, was what happened last episode. Literally sent home. Went to his mom.
Yep.
This time he's sitting with his mom. He's slouching, and she literally goes, "You're slouching," and he's sitting up there. And,
You were such a good boy.
but it's interesting. Like,
Samuel.
where is it? Where I don't mean this as negative at all. I mean as a positive. They're really building up. Which way is he gonna break? Is he going like this nomadic route of he's not going
I have
back
a
to the Empire
prediction.
because he's kind of disenfranchised maybe from them, but he also doesn't like Cassian.
I
He
think
kind of
he'll end
blames
up- I
Cassian.
I think he'll end up with the rebellion.
But doesn't he
You
blame
do.
Cassian for what happened? Like the reason he's in on all this is because of Cassian and Luthen?
I think they're trying to show that, but I because he's conflicted, I feel like that whole scene with his mother seemed very like you need to do more in terms of like you be this officer, you need to rank up, you need to do this, and to me that kind of gave off a vibe of like he's gonna rebel against that, but he can still not like Cassian and go after him, but then come to realize in the process what's going on. That's what we see from a lot of the Empire and Rebels, and like we see the characters are leaving, going out on missions to actually hunt down the rebellion, and then that is when they realize you guys are right.
Yep.
Or like, what I'm doing, that see the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I think right now it's a little bit of both. He's conflicted with not necessarily, feeling like he's been like he's a letdown to the family and like kind of leaning towards rebelling against the Empire, but then still have hatred towards Cassian and blaming him for that downfall and go after him and then potentially still end up good. I don't know.
I think he could come around. I think there might be something to this Uncle Harlow or Harlow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wonder if
They
he's
mention him
not
now. It's-
somewhere in the Imperial ranks somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because how she's
And
like,
he's gonna- He
I'll
could bring him in as a
call in your uncle, and he's
lowly.
like, why do you think he would ever even listen to
Yeah.
you?
Could
But he's clearly
be.
someone of status.
Right. He
Yeah,
could bring
true,
him
true.
in somewhere as a lowly, because if there's one character that there it seems to fit the Imperial, like he just oozes with that
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean long term he can't.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here. I looked at him. He's kind of an odd. I can't get his vibe sometimes. I
Yeah.
can't tell if it's fear,
I know.
sadness, rage.
He's
but it's
Both-
cool.
yeah.
It's
The way
Which
they
is
shot
great.
it,
It's
he's
great.
looking out the window, and he looks like really like sad and mopey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she literally says right after, "You're slouching." Like his whole body is like
Right.
yeah.
down.
But then he
it
gets
is
angry.
strange. It's
Yeah.
strange to pinpoint where he is emotionally.
He's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
He
He
is.
might be.
You really.
Well,
Could
I
be.
think when he holds up when he's looking at Cassian,
Yeah.
I felt that he was saying, "I am here
because of him.
Because of you.
because of him.
Yeah,
I
that-
lost
yeah.
all of this because of him.
So maybe
Yeah.
it becomes.
That's
if
what
I
I
get any
think.
chance,
That's what I
if I
think.
get any chance, that I don't care
going
where
for
I'm
it.
ending up, I want to figure a way to get there.
Yeah. I think you're right.
But that doesn't mean he can't come around.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's
I
true.
I think so too. That kind of gave the vibe for me too when he was looking at that. We got Hans Yolo in here again. Says, "I can't wait for the heist. Time's ticking. They said only 3 days till that planet has all those crazy colors." It said
It's gonna be
Yeah.
cool.
it
It's gonna
would
be
be
really
cool to see some of those locals pulling up too. Like it'll be like seeing them actually partake in
That'd
the
be cool.
events
Right.
of what's going to happen. Seeing a bunch of characters, and then.
For sure.
Joe, mentioning the tie earlier, said, "Can confirm when the tie flew over and they covered their ears. That was dope.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I did notice that, covering the ears,
It was
how
really
loud
cool.
it was flying over." Han says, "I feel like he's idolizing Andor."
Idolizing. That could be too.
Could be.
Could be. Definitely could be.
like-
I think one
He's a-
thing we
he's a
all
weird
agree
one
on
to
is
Maybe
we're
he's looking at
trying
him
to-
as like, I admire the fact that he's rebellious.
Yeah.
Type deal of like,
He's more free than I have ever been.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
definitely
Could be.
has
Yeah,
to.
could be.
So that's what's interesting is when we talk about Karn and where he may be going, we do know a couple of things. One, his kind of involvement in what led down this road initially started with him hunting Andor and trying to because Andor killed some people who worked and were associated with him. What's always been interesting with Karn is that most of the things he says, at least in the early few episodes,
Yeah.
we talked about this before, doesn't sound like something a Tarkin, a cruel person. He
No,
sounds
it's not
like
for
someone
evil's
that you're
sake.
Yeah.
like,
He's
he sounds
trying
like
to
stuff
protect the
that
peace.
if said by a Finn or a Poe, the exact same words, you're like, well,
let
it
him go.
actually sounds like stuff. Like,
gotta
so
stop
him.
I'd rally the troops behind him. Like, oh, cool. Like, we're gonna avenge our friends who were taken out. Like,
Mhm.
it's a lot of the stuff he says sounds like something that is said by good guys generally, but it's in the uniform in service of the corporation, which is an extension of the Empire. He's doing all this
service
stuff.
of order and
He's doing all this stuff and
power.
is really obsessed with it, and he kind of goes further and further, and then he gets they get defeated in their little battle of trying to get Luthen. They blow up the little fake speeder, decoy, and then
Yeah.
he's just defeated. And then you've got the Scottish guy. He's doing the
He's
Mike
great.
Myers Scottish impression over there. He could just actually be Scottish.
He might actually. Yeah, he's
not
pretty good.
everyone is faking their accents, especially in Star Wars, a history of accents.
yeah.
So forget I said that. But it's interesting that after all that happens, immediately, it's not like, okay, good, now I can get more people and I can go after him. It's cool. Here, give us that. You're basically demoted as far as you're not, all three of those guys and the one guy who's like, oh, wasn't even a part of it. They're basically like, we'll take it from here. You're now all under our control. But
I told him to be unethical.
But he was like kind of it's such, I know it's like retreading some of the previous episodes, but it was like he kind of was like a goody two shoes kind of a guy maybe too, because they were like, have you altered uniform? He's like
a
had it tailored a bit,
like a teacher's pet.
Like he
type.
was really proud of the
Right.
uniform and and then also like
he
him
would look
like,
good in Imperial Gray. Let's just say that.
yeah.
and
think
him
he would. I
him
think he
trying
would.
to, it felt like get up the nerve to like to stand up and him be like, guys, we're gonna go get him. We're gonna go get him, and then he's like, that was brilliant, sir. Yes,
Well
said.
well
Like,
said.
ooh,
Well
ooh.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's trying to pump
Right.
him up, but they're like, that was a horrible
Yeah.
speech. All that to say, now he's left without all that. And it is like, is he just blame Andor for all that? But then also he has to feel a certain way that the Empire's like, yeah, you did all of that stuff, but also now you're done. Because then
That's it.
it's just interesting because it doesn't feel like he would have some loyalty to the Empire right away.
I'm drawing
back.
out a.
Oh, right on.
Oh,
right on.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is our Andor from the Hat segment. If you have any random questions that you'd like to ask us, throw them in the chat. Anything Andor related. And I have one here that I'm pulling out.
He's
Now.
pulling it out. Boom. There it is. What is it?
Prediction. Oh, prediction.
Ooh.
Which of the infiltrators will die? If any.
Ooh.
We don't know names. I don't know all the names.
I don't know
No.
all the names.
So you can go
Cassian Andor.
young girl. You can go
We can go.
techie boy.
We can go
You can go
shirtless male.
Shirtless leader guy.
Shirtless leader guy.
You can go officer.
I love that. If I had watched this one more time, I would have written down those names because they said a lot of them. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vel, is
Val.
that her name?
No,
Val we
Val.
know.
That's from Solo. Val?
Kel?
No.
Mel?
It's
Vel?
Val. It's Val.
I'm kidding, Val.
It's
Yeah,
Val.
he tried to confuse me, and I didn't like it.
Didn't like it a bit. So who do you think?
Like it
I'm
a
confused
bit.
enough.
If any, who will?
Die.
The guy that had the gun pointing the wrong way.
Okay.
Actually, maybe shirtless guy.
Shirtless guy.
Maybe.
Okay.
Shirtless guy
I don't
can
know.
eat
They
it.
kind of had their they made their amends and
I
just in
think
time
it
for
could
for him
be.
to go. Cassian's not going, so that's
Cassian's gonna make it.
For now.
I'm gonna go with the big leader guy.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
I
What
think
about?
I think he will sacrifice himself
What's
to
Curl's?
save Andor.
What's Curl's name? Curly-haired guy.
Weird guy.
Curly.
Kind of nicer to Cassian when he came on, but like super
He
intelligent.
was showing him the different, the tracker and,
Yes.
and the
Yeah.
journal.
I can't remember his name. I think it could be him.
You
What
know who it
about the-
is? Throw it in there.
What
You
about
think
remember his
him?
name.
I don't know.
What
It
about the
feels-
girl?
The only
that he
reason I was saying
talking
that is
to?
I would feel like
She's
that
been
one.
too quiet. I feel like she's been too quiet. Like,
Like it wouldn't be big enough if she.
Yeah, like
You
the
mean
guy
the
who's
main
asserted
girl?
himself
No, not
as,
the main girl.
Oh
as the guy.
Yeah, I think you're
The
right.
one, the girl, the one they said the young girl. She's
Yeah,
young.
yeah.
yes,
She's all
I
in.
think that. I think Vel could possibly.
You do.
I do. I think she could.
Okay.
I think that there are a number. I think that each of these people that are
Could be
seem to
more than
have-
one.
This guy's pulling up the actual episode.
I think certain.
on his
I'm
iPad.
watching the episode live. I've got headphones on this.
It's not our fault. I
Um,
got 200 and some speaking
No.
parts.
True. I was trying to. I had it
It's
on
okay.
the captions on right now to try
Oh,
to
to
fast
try to get
forward
'em on?
to see what the names were. But turns out
That's
that
all
it's kind of tough.
They don't even.
But-
They don't even really tell you.
Yeah, they don't. You know, I was the
This
other day I was,
Jar Jar is
I
gonna
was,
be.
had a
key to the
burrito on the
whole
way
thing.
in. And, did we ask you? Who do
Yeah,
you
I
think?
said the leader guy, the main leader
Gotcha.
guy that's keeping everybody in line.
You think it's gonna be him or
I think it's just gonna be him,
I'm just
and
trying
it's
to
gonna
work
be
it
on
in.
the
Mm.
escape. He's gonna step in and die and save Andor. It's like a moment, like these guys are willing to sacrifice everything for
the
this.
rebellion.
What
He's gonna
if-
learn. I see. There's something
Yeah.
big going on here.
Yeah.
What if shirtless leader guy sacrifices for Andor?
Ooh, that
That's
would
what I was
be-
thinking.
Or Andor does something to he's about to die, and Andor somehow doesn't
Saves
sacrifice
him.
himself and
Saves
die,
him.
but puts himself in harm's way to save him,
Or sacrifices the mission to save a person.
to save a person.
Ooh.
And then they
Mm.
have to say,
Mm.
guys,
That would
many
work.
years from now, a very wise technician named Rose Tico will teach us all a valuable lesson.
They suddenly
is
throw
how
in a
we win.
narration to end the
And that is
episode.
how we win.
And those are the Star Wars.
What about-
it's just some
what-
narrator.
What about? I'm just trying to think by different character plots. What about like Mon Mothma and her husband
Dying?
Like,
Mm.
no.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
What about Mon Mothma's?
I think she'll make it through the infiltration. I think she'll be
I-
okay.
All right, guys, I'm signing off.
Yeah.
I think many
You
Bothans
mean the plot?
will
You mean the
not- I'm sorry.
storyline?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what's gonna happen?
Perrin, by
in
the way.
Next?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have the dignity to call
The-
that dweeb by his name, Perrin.
Man,
Is that the husband?
Yeah.
Yeah, Perrin.
Who doesn't remember his driver's names to save his life?
it's all about.
There's just such an.
It's
It's all internal.
it is.
It's all me.
It is.
It's so
and
interesting.
how about their dynamic is so interesting that she doesn't even tell him what she's actually doing.
Yeah.
It's that they're that separated.
You know what I thought of when I was watching it?
Hmm.
It was a sad moment. Tom and Giselle.
Ugh.
It's like, oh, they're just growing apart. They're growing apart. Both of their missions are important, and they're growing apart.
Yeah. Well, his
Now,
is,
granted, he's playing football and she's
his is
saving
dinner.
the galaxy.
yeah,
but
his
still,
is dinner and hers is
Still.
sacrificing people and trying to actually. You
No,
know, very good.
no.
And-
I think
and
they're gonna.
regardless of who is who, Tom or Giselle are both better than Perrin.
They are either way.
Either way. But
I
no,
yeah.
think for the look of things, they kind of have to
Yeah.
maintain for now.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just think her saying, like her even saying, why he mentioned something about why didn't I know about this or whatever. She's like, well, it's for charity. I didn't think you cared.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he
Why
didn't
didn't you
deny
tell
it.
me
He was
about
just
it?
like,
Well, it's for charity. Mm-hmm,
He was like,
uh-huh.
oh.
I'm interested.
he didn't say
That's
what?
true.
No, he was just like, you're right.
I love when he goes, "What's his name?"
Interesting.
Yeah. Just
It's great.
because he's just so.
He looks the part.
He's
Too.
so beneath-
the little the ponytail.
So it's setting
slicked
it
back
up
hair.
that-
and their daughter.
Yeah.
the daughter talking back too.
Yeah.
Sassy pants.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think so. We're putting it in a place where Mon Mothma then she is going to sacrifice a lot,
Yeah.
but she's already paying the price.
She is.
Yes.
She's
It's already
already-
happening.
She's already sacrificed it because
Yeah.
she's growing further away from her family.
Yep, and
Yeah.
it's so committed to this. That's the thing that's keeping her away most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just can't tell him.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yeah. That's
It's
crazy. That's crazy.
yeah. It's so interesting.
I got another one.
Oh.
It's so interesting when I don't have anything else to say because he's got another one.
Another one. Okay. If anybody's got one in the chat, feel free. This is hard to read. If any,
Oh.
this is another question one. How many stormtroopers do you predict will be in the next
the
episode?
next
If
episode.
Oh.
If
If
any.
any.
We haven't seen any at the base yet. It could
No.
just be
Oh.
they gotta have some in the garrison.
Here's my
I think in
prediction.
the garrison,
They,
they're
they
stealing
gotta have
all
some.
of their stealing
gotta
their
have some.
quarterly income or salary.
You can't
It's-
not
and-
have stormtroopers.
This
and
could
we
be some
know-
angry, broke stormtroopers looking
Right.
for their money.
And we know they're going in disguised as Imperial officers.
Imperial
They are.
officers,
I mean,
right.
Gotta be
marching
some
in. There's got to be
stormtroopers
some
in here.
stormtroopers.
How
Gotta be.
many?
J
just say-
Man says
126.
Say less than
Who's
10.
making up the name?
126. Who's going to count?
Less than 10, more than 25, more than 50.
Joe
Oh.
says 40. in the
40.
chat.
So
Okay.
Joe's more than 25.
I'm
Okay.
with you. I think the whole 50
I think
first.
so.
The whole thing.
Oh.
All 50 first of them.
I think
I don't know.
I think 25 plus. I think that's a safe bet.
I say
25 plus.
The only reason I didn't say
25
more
plus,
than 50
25
is I
plus.
was trying to think in my mind, how many scenes in Star Wars history have we seen more than 50 stormtroopers? Not talking clone troopers.
Right.
Stormtroopers.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
Maybe.
I'm going. I'm going.
You're going more than 50?
I'm gonna go less than 25.
Less.
Oh,
Less
wow.
than 25.
Boo. No.
Because my theory is they're gonna actually show the stormtroopers as very powerful, very strong,
Very competent.
and effective.
Mm.
I think. So fewer will actually do
Instead of just
Well,
coming out.
Although
in
if they're
numbers.
if they're gonna be successful, which they need.
Well,
to
what's
be,
interesting is, though, I think you're right.
Maybe
though.
they don't.
They do kind of. I never say they have to do something or have to do this, but it would make sense if they kind of portray this particular group of stormtroopers as being maybe more competent than the average stormtrooper that
Yeah.
we've seen,
Yep.
because of the way they're talking about this being. So in Star Wars, again, it's a myth, it's a fantasy. There's obviously fantasy elements about it, but when Han's running in and there's 20 stormtroopers and they're all there shooting at him, and he kind of
Or
runs
in the
other day,
remastered one, 80
80.
or whatever. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Han he's not Luke Skywalker. He
Right.
is smooth, but he is just a guy.
Right.
And even when he's outnumbered in Return of the Jedi, there's all these times when it is like 1 versus 10 or
Mhm.
3 versus 20, and it's never like this is a suicide mission. They somehow
Right.
maneuver, get
Works
behind.
away. Yeah.
They've got a crew here of what, 6? How many people do we have here?
Yeah.
6?
Yeah. 6 or 7. Yeah.
And they're saying we're going into essentially like, how are we going to pull this off? Now, again, part of that is the heist itself.
Right.
But they are like, a lot of them are like, we don't know if we're going to make it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like we're
just
going in and
thinking
it's
about-
going to be one. It's not like we all have one stormtrooper to beat.
Yeah.
We all just need to
Just
train.
think about
hand to
episode 4. Right. We got Han, Luke, Obi-Wan, and Chewie. Right.
Infiltrating the Death Star.
Going into the Death Star.
Yeah.
Marching into the detention area is not what I had in mind.
Derpy Gamer.
They're going to kill her.
Better her than me. Okay.
Okay.
I
Derpy,
love
Derpy
it.
Gaming says I'd say 15 or less.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I could
yeah.
see that.
I
mean,
can see it
too. I
I
can
mean, there's
see it
not a
too.
lot of people too. That's just stormtroopers. So there's
Right.
going to be a bunch. We've already seen a bunch of Imperial officers.
There'll be other.
at the
There'll be
place. So
soldiers.
just that's true.
I
Or
don't
maybe.
think-
Or do we think there won't be any?
There might not be any.
It's possible
Yeah,
that
that's
they-
true.
I don't know.
That's true.
That would be cool,
Now,
actually.
Is
Okay.
this does this count? Is it a technicality if it's like, well, we actually have death troopers, or we have some of the scout troopers, the biker scouts.
Oh,
Are we counting everything as a stormtrooper there, or has it got to be classic stormtrooper?
I don't know. I was hoping to see the classic trooper.
Yeah.
But
I
I
think a
don't know.
classic.
we got speeder bikes, so
We end up getting a
Classic.
lot of speeder bikes in
Yeah.
between
Mando.
and Book of Boba,
such
Yeah,
a
we
great
did.
which is
vehicle.
great.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's all I have for
bantha.
now.
Like a bantha.
Yeah,
like a banda.
I was
I
gonna
love
say, going off the heist, one of the things I wanted to mention was Luthen at the very end. We didn't get a ton of him in this episode,
Yeah.
but after watching it the second time, I think it's interesting. I mean, it's like I think it's the last dialogue in the episode is he's nervous, he's waiting for a call. It sounds like they're almost checking on like, how's it going?
Yes.
You know, and then his assistant's like, put it away. You're not getting a call tonight. Like, if anything, we'll hear from them tomorrow. That's what I kind of got out of that. And then and then she says, by this time tomorrow it'll all be over. And he says, or it'll be just the beginning. And that's
Mhm.
like how the episode ends. And to me, the first time I was
Which
like, oh,
is
that's
interesting.
just like, oh, like here we go, we're going. But then after watching it the second time, I was like, this is a guy who was initially introduced into this show as like he's been doing this for a while. Like he's the guy who knows the answers, he knows everything about Cassian. And then I heard this line, and I was like,
The
is
beginning.
part of his nervousness, is this like the first like real big heist that they've been, why it's been in plan for so long?
Mhm.
It's
Will
like,
he be a
is
little more
this really-
exposed now because
Yeah,
of this?
is
this-
Like, there's no turning back now.
To come back on him.
like they've
Yeah.
been doing this stuff, but is this like the real first
Well,
big
he
thing
said.
that they've been doing?
He said. I mean, if they get Cassian,
God,
then
me-
they're all. He
That's
could
what
be in
he's
trouble.
nervous. That's
Yeah.
what he said he was nervous about. Was
He
Cassian?
banked it all on that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'm a thief.
I thought something really cool happened, and and I feel there's a parallel between this and Rings of Power, because we're
Rings of
getting we're every episode isn't hack and slash or let's fight.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of background stuff and it's explaining
Some
things.
world building stuff.
Different characters.
Yeah, I
like,
loved in this. Yeah, I
Derby's
loved,
mentioned in the chat the jump from different characters.
for
and
sure.
stuff, yeah.
Moving around. I've loved it. I loved in this episode the young kid when he's talking about that tracker, and he's making a statement about the rebellion in general, and it will, and that philosophy runs through everything, because George Lucas said the idea of the rebellion, the Empire was supposed to have all the stuff that was slick and cool and polished, and
Yeah.
the rebellion was basically hot rods. It just,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
things they
They're
pieced
piecing
together.
stuff
and
Yeah.
together to try to get by.
and in that sentence, he describes the future of the rebellion. He said, "This is untraceable. It's beautiful because it's old and and I made it. I can build it. I can fix it. If
Yeah.
it breaks, I can put this piece in and make it." That's why we have TIE fighters over here, and on this side we have X-wings and Y-wings and
Yeah.
A-wings. These are pieced together ships
And it doesn't stand out.
that are different.
That's the whole thing of what makes the rebellion work, is that
Right.
it can't stand out.
Yeah,
So
As
they're
soon as
using
you draw
tech that they
attention to
don't-
it, where the Empire is all about drawing attention to themselves.
Right.
It's all about this bravado.
That's why he said
and
just
this
looking
Yes.
at this is one. This just looks like one thing. This just looks like another. But then their actual what they do is
Right. I love that he was laying down a philosophy that is the rebellion. That's what they're about. They take the junk and they're building it out of the junk. The stuff that the Empire says is worthless and useless. That's what the rebellion uses, not only in the tech but in the people.
Yeah.
It's like it's all right in that little dialogue. That's why I called it manifesto. I was like,
Yes.
this is great. This is the essence of what the rebellion is about. Those two little things he was using there, how they have different purposes and different uses, and
yeah.
the Empire doesn't have any use for this because it's old and useless, but we turn it into something valuable that they don't understand. I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
lines and dialogue like that in those scenes, this episode full of them, of stuff like
Yeah.
that, is one of the reasons why I think so many people have gravitated towards this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that while
Yeah.
while all of us love a lot of the pew pew and lightsabers and all that stuff, of
pew pew.
the pew pew,
Love the pew pew.
love it, could do more. Oh, come on, we need more
Pew here, pew there.
all the pew pew, folks. We need pew pew. Vroom vroom. Star Trek, come on. The lights got a little dim. I love the.
That was strong too. Little dim.
Come on, live long and prosper. Different one.
Force be with you, man.
This is off the rails.
Are we ever gonna get to it? Let's keep doing
No.
it.
Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Sure. May the force be with you.
Mr. Gorbachev. This is off the rails.
Okay.
And speaking of a heist, this show has been stolen from the people. I think that the dialogue in this show, when it is so much the core of Star Wars. That's what I was getting at. Is I think people, whether
It
people are
is.
knowing it intentionally or not, that dialogue is written intentionally by Tony Gilroy and all the other showrunner, writer, all of this stuff that immediately gets to the heart of, like you said, they're using this
talking-
little.
Yeah, big
It's
stuff.
talking, it's dialogue,
Yeah.
but everything has been very purposeful so
Yeah.
far in the show. And again, some of the other quotes I even wrote down in some of these talks when they're getting ready, gearing up for the thing. And one of the quotes we talked about earlier was, "Everyone has their own rebellion and their own reason."
Yes, that's a great line.
There's different reasons. People are fighting for different reasons. It can be you're just not with that group. It can be personally they came after your family. Maybe they came after your
Yeah.
job. Maybe they came after your planet.
Maybe they
Maybe
your
it's
brother.
maybe Mon Mothma's living very well, but she sees the stuff that's going on and
Yeah.
decides to risk her very
Yeah,
high
why? We'll find out
lifestyle
why,
to do
but
that.
Man, that's
Yeah.
special.
Luthen seems to be in a place where he doesn't have to do this.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
But
true.
he's taking a risk to do it. It's so interesting. And then I love the name of the episode, The Axe Forgets. The
Yeah.
axe forgets, but the tree remembers.
That's right.
Talking about the Empire is just it's swinging its axe, it's cutting people down, it's doing all this. Yet each of the individuals that are
That are
the
being
Empire,
cut,
it's
they
just another
remember.
number.
Yeah.
It's just another village. It's just
Yeah.
another.
right.
I just love the world building, and I guess in this case, galaxy building of. They're really building up not only how the rebellion starts, but why the rebellion is happening, which I think we have not gotten a ton of in. I mean, by the time we get to Rogue One,
Mhm.
we get some Saw Gerrera being extreme. We get people talking about. We get Jin talking about like that's what we do. We rebel. This is rebellions are built on hope, but we don't even in A New Hope or any of that stuff get a ton of what are we rebelling against as far as like the average person. I get it why Obi-Wan would be personally affected by the events of Order 66 and what happened to the Jedi.
But
and
the average person.
But the average person, why are those people fighting in the bunker in Hoth? Why is the
Right.
average person there working at the tech desk? They're not Princess Leia, they're not Han, they're not any of these big people.
Right.
Mhm.
Why are they risking their lives? And we're getting so much of that in
And they're
this.
showing how
Yeah.
each person has their own story, whether you were with the Empire and you're rebelling against them because you were an officer, or
Mhm.
like they mentioned, the officer that's going to be helping out had fell in love with some local, and they were tearing down all the
Yep.
local activities. And then the guy mentions, "Man, you can still smell like the 100 of them or whatever. Can you imagine if there were thousands of them?" And he just looks at there like, "Yeah,
I wish I could kill
wish
you
there
right
were."
now.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
What a line too about the smell
Exactly.
and stuff, and
Oh.
you're just
It's
like,
just like,
you look and my blood's boiling.
So it
watching
introduced
it, you're like,
racism into it too.
Yeah,
like, it's-
exactly.
yeah.
yeah,
They did that with the original. What is that thing? Right. The whole
Yes.
thing about
yeah,
because the Empire doesn't embrace alien cultures at all.
no.
yeah,
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's humans only. Yeah.
yeah.
It's in this show touches on so many. Obviously, some of it pretty explicitly, and some of it
Yeah.
a little
Yeah.
more implied. But so many things do translate to like real world stuff,
Yeah.
and obviously,
Right.
I think it just strikes a nerve with a lot of people watching it. You're like, I can sit and watch and go, wow, this is a fantasy, and also I want to punch and I want to hurt the guy who just said like, could you imagine the smell and like his distaste for these other people?
It's this. It's the
just-
smugness.
Of their
It's
home,
so yeah.
right.
of their planet.
I
Yeah.
I
It's just
also
great, though. The show is so
I
well written.
also loved this. They've built a contrast, and it's kind of clear with Luke, but we spend so much time in the Empire, like realm,
Mm-hmm.
we don't notice the stark contrast. We go back to Cassian's home planet, the
Yeah.
contrast between that and the Empire, and we go to Aldhani, the
Yeah.
contrast with that and the Empire, and you go to the Empire and it's pristine and they're all got perfectly clean uniforms and everything's high tech and polished, and then we got people living in the dirt,
Yeah.
and they're just
Yeah,
crushing people, and so that stark contrast, and I love the fact that it's a very clear connection between Nazis, where they've got the flared pants, looks just like,
Yeah.
yeah.
and the color of gray, and then they vary it with some other. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really. I just love the costuming and the look of it.
Oh, there's no question.
So
the
great.
design and
Yeah.
costume
They're
for
making a
this
very
series is incredible.
much clearer distinction.
Yeah,
For sure.
It's always
Yeah.
been there, but we're seeing it.
it's funny you mentioned that because Derby is in here saying the camera shots of the characters are what really intrigues me with their choices. They do. They highlight the. There's been so many shots on just the facial expressions with no dialogue at different moments of like
Mhm.
even what's the blonde Imperial officers.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Where she walks by and then the other officer passes and then she waits and just turns back and you just see her lip like
Right.
just like smirk and just turns and keeps going.
There's so
it's like-
much in between the
I
lines.
figured out the direction they give. It's an easy direction. Okay, everyone playing an Imperial officer, here's the rule, okay? You need to always think you smell something disgusting. That's the rule.
That's it.
It is always it. That's it constantly.
Always smell something
Leia
bad.
nailed it.
Recognize
Foul
a foul
stench
stench
of
from
Yours
aboard.
aboard.
And that's when Pierre
Bridges to
Cushing's,
the last.
that's when Pierre Cushing's like, well, George just told us to act like we smelled something. It's Princess Leia. I wouldn't
act like you smell something horrid all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Therapy said Luke be like, how did my father die, Obi-Wan, a.k.a. Ben Kenobi? His response, like a bantha. He's referring to
Like
your
a
thing
bantha.
earlier.
He died like a bantha.
Like a bantha.
Well, not like a
So
dog.
good. Parker's in the chat. Hello, Parker. What's going on?
What is up?
Yeah.
Man,
But-
it's just... I'm so
You
excited
gotta
for episode
pace
6.
yourself. You gotta pace
You have
yourself
to.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta. It's not. We're not making quick cuts, and you gotta pace
I think
yourself down
I
and
think it's
enjoy
one thing
it.
about the series so far is it has the like I'm not going into it feeling like things need to be rushed or feeling like I need action every time. It's like they've been mentioning the heists coming up. They're
Mhm.
planning for it. It's not like, oh, I don't know what's coming. So it's
Mhm.
not like, oh, there's not going to be any action or there hasn't been any action or like we're not. It's like, no, it's just building suspense as we get to this moment that's going to
Right.
be a crucial moment for all of them entering into the rebellion or
Yeah.
officially starting this war now, as
Mhm.
Luthen says. Maybe it's the beginning. The events don't just end tomorrow. This is a big act that
Mhm.
they're about to put on, and so I think it's just really
And
interesting
probably
as you dive into that.
not the biggest moment of the season.
No, exactly.
Right? We
This would
got
be
Exactly.
this would be
more-
the
So I'm
halfway
at,
point
like,
of the season.
It's
Yeah.
not surprising to me at
6
all
of
that
12.
there's
next
moments
episode.
that are like boom, and then we get to here, and then there's like, all right, now let's be discreet. Now,
Yeah.
what's the next thing? Now, okay, so it doesn't like the whole first part's Cassian building up to, I made a mistake. I gotta like keep low. All
Yeah.
this stuff builds up. They make their attack. He gets out of there. Now it's all right. Lay low for a little bit, and he's
Mhm.
figuring out. He gets caught into this deal and gets paid, and it feels like that's kind of a thing.
He came in the same way Han did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same way Han Solo
That's
got
it.
in.
True.
She's rich.
that's true.
Rich.
So,
A lot more
I
than
don't
you
know.
can
I can
imagine.
imagine quite a
I
bit.
don't know. I can. Yeah.
So you think it's
Quite a
going to
bit.
end with Cassian saying, "Okay, kid, let's blow this thing and go home"?
Yes.
That'd be a great way to end
Definitely.
this whole season.
And then what happens is to get him back, what ends up happening is at the very end of the season, Krennic is introduced.
Oh
And
man!
then he's talking with Tarkin, and he starts telling him his plans, and then Krennic ends up on Scarif. And obviously we get Jyn Erso on Scarif, and we get Cassian on Scarif, and then he goes. And
then according to one podcast, we get a whole-
Tarkin goes. Then Tarkin goes. All right, let's blow this thing and go home. You may fire when ready.
You may fire when ready.
He's like, you may blow this thing. I hope that doesn't come back to get us.
Oh.
That's a good line. I hope that's ours, right? That's just Empire.
I can
That's
say
ours.
that. I can say that.
I can say that. I hope nobody
fire
uses
when
that
ready.
against us. Evacuate in a moment of triumph. I'm
be
just
mad.
loving it. I'm loving
Yeah.
the show.
Yep.
It is
I'm
so
loving it.
much different.
I can't wait for next episode.
I know. I want to see. I do
I'm
want to see
excited.
some stuff blow up.
Yeah.
For
I'll confess it. I
And in the
wouldn't mind seeing
meantime,
that.
dive into. I know I'm going to go back and
But that's part
re-listen
of-
to that
yeah.
dialogue and
It
listen
makes it
to
more
the stuff.
special.
Exactly.
The building up is.
That's what I'm saying.
It
Of
makes it
course,
bigger.
it's not that we don't want those action moments.
Right.
It's that I don't mind some of the build up because it makes
Yeah.
that,
this is a different
that
thing.
much better.
It's a different
when
thing.
Vader
makes the
finally
stakes higher.
appeared. When Vader finally appeared in what was it, episode 3 maybe
Yeah.
of Kenobi. You knew
Oh, they
Vader was
built-
in it. They talked about it 2 years before the show came out. That Hayden Christensen was coming back as Vader. But then you're waiting. Episode 1, you're like, oh, he's not here yet. Episode 2, we just hear. And then
Yeah.
episode 3, when he shows up, it is
Yeah.
horrifying.
Right.
It's scary.
Right.
But it is the minimal. It is.
Yeah.
It is the one TIE fighter, and then we have this, and then where are the stormtroopers? If they started and the opening shot was 100 stormtroopers, I'd be like, cool. That's
Awesome.
awesome. We're ready
Yeah.
to go.
yeah.
But then it
Where
doesn't
do you
feel
go?
the same. When
Yeah.
I love it how they're building it up,
Yeah.
and then it's all character. I love the conflicted. So many of these characters are morally, maybe morally ambiguous, or I would just say even their motivations are sometimes ambiguous. Where how did Luthen get? I would love to know how did Luthen? Why is he doing what he's doing?
Yeah.
Other than he wants to stick it to them, but like who personally hurt him?
If we follow
Yeah.
the
What
pattern,
happened to
they've
his?
all of them have been impacted. They've lost something.
And the Mon
Yeah.
Mothma thing is really fascinating. Seeing the
You know what I think Mon
The
Mothma's
lifestyle.
is? Parents.
I thought you were saying Perrin.
Parents. I think it's Perrin. He's evil.
He's just Perrin. She's like,
No, I think
anything. I'd
something
rather risk
happened.
my life than
I
spending
think
all day with Perrin.
I think she's risen up, but she's actually from a poor background, and her parents were impacted
Humble
by
beginnings.
the Empire, and she's made it her life mission to move into this in order to use that.
And it started out as let's
come
get in
back.
politics, make a difference, but now the Empire takes over, and now it's like now I really need to start
Now it's like
doing things outside of the
Mhm.
political power
I am
that
looking
she has.
forward-
I
I
can
have
do
to
more.
do more.
I'm
Yeah.
looking
Something.
forward to the heist, and then possibly later in the season, I'm looking forward to some Imperial Senate.
Dude,
Anything
We
with
got
the
it.
Senate.
It's
coming.
Yeah,
I know.
we're getting some.
Did you notice they had a little closer zoom in too on the holocrons?
Yeah,
They're
and
showing-
Luthen, and
yeah.
Luthens that you can
Right,
see
there's,
the jet,
yeah,
I
there's
know.
stuff coming
holocrons.
for
Yeah.
sure.
man.
I can't
All the stuff
wait.
in the room. I'll have to go back and look
Cannot
closer at that too.
Wait. Oh, I just pulled something out of the land speeder.
Ooh,
Ooh,
from
out of the land
speeder.
speeder.
Turns out this one's easy to read.
Oh, wonderful.
Ooh.
Actually, I need to scoot it back. It's so big. This says clearly on this card. This says, "Quick." Whoa.
Oh, wait.
Quick. This one's specifically for Nate and Uncle. That was convenient.
Ooh,
Oh,
wow.
nice.
Quick, Nate and Uncle. You have a team you're putting together to do your own heist. You get 3 Star Wars characters. Choose your team, but choose wisely.
Oh,
That
man.
was almost a little
my
Indiana
goodness.
Jones. Choose wisely. That's good. That's good written. I'm gonna leave that one right here.
Out of, do we have a selection of
3 including me?
It said you two. I don't know who wrote that.
So there's only one spot
I might
left.
even join in. No, you two have to each choose your own individual teams.
In my F3.
of any
3.
selection.
You get 3, so it's you plus 3.
Any era, mix and match.
Any era, mix and match, dead or alive.
Man, oh man,
You've
well
got,
Tarkin.
It's mix and matching good and bad.
Wow, okay.
You're gonna have a team
Okay,
that
well,
just fights
Of course,
against
Maul.
each other.
Of course, Maul. has
There
gotta
you
be a
go.
thing.
Yeah,
We'll
Maul's
get
gotta
Maul
be
and
there.
Obi-Wan.
For the
Obi-Wan.
legs.
That couldn't go wrong. The two of those two together.
Legs. That's his fantasy football team name. Darth Maul's Lost
My
Legs.
fantasy football team is named Darth Maul's Lost Legs.
Lost
That is
Legs.
true.
Yeah.
That is true. They're out there.
And mine is Sarah with no H because H's are And my team is as well.
Mine is Chick Wilder.
Which sounds like a real name.
Those of you who out there were on vacation with us know what I'm talking about.
We should
That's
play
all.
Empire on the cast one time.
Oh, that'd be
Ooh,
Get a
that
whole
would be
crew of
good.
people in here.
good. Yeah.
Push the camera back.
Wait, people
Oh.
are saying I think Nate is Lego Master. Like the people are guessing and making their guesses for us.
That'd be fun.
Great.
That'd be great.
fun.
Man.
Okay, I'll switch places. I would go. I'm gonna go.
Luke Skywalker.
I'll go ahead. You can go then.
Oh, no,
I will go. Nate goes,
I
was
will
answering
go
for you.
after
I was answering for
after
you.
Nate.
I was telling you what you will go.
You pick, and then I'll pick a completely
Is
different
this like
team.
a draft? Like I pick one.
My
you pick
team's
one?
ready, but I need a command ship. Yeah. What?
Is this a draft? I'll take Luke.
Okay. Go. Man, that was my first.
No, you were going on.
All right.
no one was gonna take Luke.
I'll take Ahsoka. You
Ooh.
want to play ball? I'll play ball.
Oh darn! How dare he went? He's taking shots.
I mean,
That's a low blow.
No, I'm
That's
just
my
kidding.
character.
I know.
I know.
You had first pick.
Derpy in the chat said, "Wait, those are your real fantasy football names?"
Those are our real fancy.
They
They
are.
are.
Mine's
They are.
changing though because it's not working.
Now it's gonna be
Okay, I'll take Ahsoka. Oof. Han Solo. Because I like him.
in Rose
And
And Paige.
Rose.
and Paige.
And Anakin Skywalker.
Ooh, Kid
Ooh.
Andy, who's great at pod racing and doesn't have an ounce of evil in him, or
I'm taking.
I want the Annie that's on the edge because he could do what needs to be done.
Ooh.
oh, I like it.
And then
Your
he'll-
team lives in the gray area. A
In
little
the
bit.
gray.
I'm taking Jabba.
Java.
Because Jabba comes with the crew, does he
Hey,
not?
Jabba Nobata.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Jabba
no
no bot. No, I'm gonna take. Oh man, this is tough. I'm taking. Oh, I know for sure.
Nate's
one
taking
of mine-
Jabba and the two
For
twin
sure,
Hutts.
one of mine is.
Nate's going to all Huts.
I'm going all Huts. I'm going zero.
Who's gonna carry
I'm
him?
going
They
zero
just
the
sit
Hut.
there.
Terrible team without their menagerie. What a terrible
Oh,
team.
man.
no, we walker.
I'm going Boba Fett.
Oh man! All right.
Oh,
The
nice
slave one
shirt
comes
I've
with
got
it.
on.
Slave one comes.
So I'm getting
yeah.
the great seismic charge sound as we're flying around,
Ooh.
doing
Yep.
Way to
whatever,
go off on
doing
you.
whatever we're doing. I'm taking the worm that comes out of the meteor. Space
Oh.
worm.
That's
No,
awesome.
Boba Fett.
Luke, you said
I did say Luke.
that's a cool combo.
Boba and Luke. Boba and Luke. Let me get a different era.
How does Boba feel about Jedi?
Let me get a different era.
Wasn't that a TV show?
Ooh.
Boba and Luke Duke.
And
I'm
I'm thinking of the Lukes of Hazard.
That was it.
I got it. Boba, Luke,
Luke and Luke Hazard.
Daisy Lukes.
The Lukes of Hazard.
Boba, Luke, Padme.
Oh, Padme.
Bounty Hunter playing a little both sides here.
Right.
He does. He's playing both sides. Luke,
Get the
he gets some
Jedi.
force abilities.
You
We
got
got
the
the
political.
Jedi, and then we go the politics.
Politics.
Someone that can be on the inside, play a little political game. Just whatever you do, don't give power to Jar Jar.
Never.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a kind of a flaw of Padme's. If there's one blemish on Padme's record, that would be toward the top.
That's tough.
Yeah.
There's
That's
a
a tough
couple I
one.
can think of, but I'm putting that one up there.
Emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor.
And
I
then
can't
nobody
go
said.
bad.
this is how
Derpy
Liberty
says
dies.
I'm
Like,
taking Rose,
that's
Finn,
what you
and
do.
Darth Jar Jar.
Ooh, Darth
Ooh,
Jar
nice.
Jar.
Because he'll annoy you to death.
It's great.
I
like
think
it.
I'm gonna go.
Wait, you said this was specifically for
I
Uncle
know,
and I.
but
Yeah,
now
I
I'm
don't think
now
we
I'm,
get to play.
This
I'm
guy didn't read the full
intrigued.
question.
Oh wait, there's another card. Mike gets to go.
Oh, was that community chest or no? It's playing Monopoly or something.
Okay.
It was I rolled
Oh,
doubles.
wow.
You want a beauty contest? You get to pick your team too.
I'm gonna go. Gosh,
First word was quick, wasn't
I'm
it?
gonna go. Yep, it was quick. Nate and Uncle.
Oh, that's true.
Flip
Wait, let me
over.
look at the cards.
Slow.
Mike, take your time.
Wait,
I
another
didn't read
card.
the fine
I
print.
think I'll go Viceroy Newt Gunray.
Admiral Akbar.
I'm going Voldemort. Are you seeing a theme here? And someone else without a nose. Someone else without a nose. We're going Voldemort, no
Dobby.
nose. Gunroy, no nose. And who'd you say?
It's a Dobby.
Dobby has a big nose,
I
doesn't he?
don't know.
To average
It
it out.
does.
No, I think I would have to
Oh,
go.
I got one for no nose. You're going no nose theme, right?
You're going
Lord of the Rings, the ghost. What's his name?
the ghost.
Zeb.
The ghost of the Army of the Dead, the leader.
Oh.
Oh,
He's
that's
got no
pretty good.
nose. No
yeah,
nose.
the king under
No
the
nose.
mountain.
Yeah,
Army of the undead.
yeah.
Gambino crime family. Tommy No Nose. He was good.
That's true. Tommy no nose. That's true.
That's good. Maybe I don't go. What else do we
okay,
have?
awesome. we
I don't have a
And
good
I
see
have
you next
nothing.
time.
I mean, I had some thoughts.
we took all yours.
Those were some good ones. I was thinking,
Gollum.
what else is something? It has to be Star Wars. I thought, what else? What's out of the box? I was trying to think of something that was a little
I
out of
think
the
you're
box.
going Holdo maneuver.
I was thinking, I want that one. I think I was gonna go the Turk
Oh, wait.
the Turk no Union.
You could go.
Seal Bibble and
Have we no
You-
technology to fix that problem?
You could start. You could go no legs.
Captain Panaka.
Captain Panaga.
The Viceroy's the Viceroys. The Huts of Gangsters.
That's
I
a
love it.
gangster.
That's a gangsters.
I like that.
What's
from,
the
bro?
dude's name from? What's the
From
What's the main guy's
Jersey?
character from Resistance?
You talking
The
about Kaz?
I'm going Kaz, Ezra, and
Kaz, that's right. And some other whiny
some
teen.
other whiny teen.
And clone Attack of the Clones Anakin.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
I'm going Kanan and Ezra because I just like their
Yeah, that's a
their
good
That's a
dynamic.
package.
I like
Blind
their, I like
Kanan
their
or-
dynamic.
Ooh,
I
Blinded?
prefer blind. Yeah. prefer.
Don't we all?
I like how in tune with the Force is.
Yeah,
That
he
is
was.
true.
He is.
That is
when
true.
He has no
Yep,
eyes.
yep.
Bendu.
So the first requirement would be
Ezra and Bendu. It's my team.
that's my team. I'm going all rebels.
We're going in.
You know, none of them have a significant effect on what happens much
You
later
think Bendu
on.
would play center, but no, he's QB. He's the QB.
QB this isn't a football team. We're doing a heist.
Oh, I have another
I
question.
thought we were still on
It's,
fantasy.
okay.
We are fielding a fielding. We are planning a basketball starting five. We have to. No, that's done.
Oh, I'm going Snoke.
We'll save that for another. For
I'm
the
going
height.
Snoke.
Snoke.
He's tall.
Snoke. Wait, Snoke after
Basketball
he's
team.
chopped with Darth Maul.
Nate's going no legs for anybody. And Nate's going Vader on the hill of Mustafar, right on the side with
I'm
no
laughing
limbs.
because that thing says Andor episode 5 review.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Oh, yeah.
We put kinda in
It's
parentheses.
a
I
real
like it.
fine print. Well, we got through it, most of it.
We did.
Yeah,
We did the review.
It's
we're
a-
loving the show
Now
It's a
fun and
thumbs up.
games.
for sure.
I'm
we're
giving
loving
it-
the show.
I'm giving it an A for Andor.
I like it.
Ooh, I like that.
It's dumb.
Or
I appreciate your
I'm
kindness.
gonna go.
You're too kind.
I'm gonna go Saw Gerrera because I like a little crazy.
Are we still picking?
I'm also gonna
He's
go.
my 5. I want him in my 5.
I also am gonna go.
he could probably play.
he's the
he
guy
probably
that's going.
play-
He's fouling out.
this
He could
is,
play a 4. But
this
I
is
put him
where
in
this was. This is where this was going. We're going Saw Gerrera because I like a little crazy. We're going Heath Ledger's Joker.
Just joking.
My
Derpy.
third team is just
Derpy in the chat
psycho.
says I'm rocking with Babu Frick, Porgs, and Sand.
And
Oh,
Sand.
that's awesome.
good one.
Anakin's not coming by.
No.
That's true.
That's. I think I'm gonna go to a different question. Just
Not
keep,
because we're still going.
I
on.
know. All right.
Man.
That's great.
Nate, where can they find us?
No, no,
Hey,
said
where can they
that.
find us? Let's do our first wrap up.
What else we got?
Do we have another phrase for another giveaway?
That's
Do we
true.
need to read the
The fine print
disclaimer?
on our giveaways.
We're not actually giving it away. I'm just
No,
kidding,
do
I'm
we
kidding.
need
Of
to
course
share
we
the
do.
disclaimer?
We give them stuff and we expect a check in the mail.
Check in the
no,
mail.
Just kidding.
What's the
Sure,
disclaimer?
you can read the disclaimer.
Yeah, give it to him.
Where did I put that thing? Oh yeah. The Star Wars guys reserves the right to disqualify anyone who is of relation or kin by blood or otherwise related to or in any way affiliated with the personal family relationship with the Star Wars Guys podcast. And we reserve
Yeah.
the right to send the gift to you as soon as we turning into Goldblum as soon as we can.
Well, yes.
And we thank you for playing.
When you're going through Star Wars guys giveaways,
Because you know,
we've got one already.
Kim
Luke
Kardashian
Skywalker.
is
Ooh,
taking a hit over her
giveaway.
Funko Pops?
giveaway
Oh.
stuff.
That's crypto.
Yeah, or was that Kyle? One of them did a
yeah.
one of
Did
them
a
did a giveaway contest and people got mad
Yes,
because they didn't. Evidently, they picked people, but they didn't give them everything. But they brought in a lot of money. So people made a donation. Heard about this? People made a donation to something, and then they were
Did a
entered in a
giveaway.
giveaway, and then it actually never
giveaway was never given
gave
away.
and they made like millions of dollars.
Oh wow, it was a give and take.
It was a give and it was a
Ooh.
take and take.
It was a take and take. Well, we're
But
doing a giveaway.
We're gonna give away. We're not taking anything.
Yeah, we already got our first winner.
Yeah.
Joe Mark scores. J
Yeah.
Man.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Joe Mark scores getting this, getting the Funko,
Happy for
Funko
that.
Pop with Holden Grogu, Luke Skywalker, Holden Grogu.
Do we wanna come up with another
Joby-Wan
phrase?
Kenobi. What's Joe's nickname? What's Joe's Star Wars nickname?
Lanjo.
Lanjo?
Lanjo
Oh,
Calrissian.
Lanjo Calrissian.
Whoa,
I said
whoa,
Joby-
whoa,
I said
Lando
Joby-Wan.
Calrissian.
Could that be our phrase? Joby-Wan Kenobi?
Joby
We should open up to the chat for some good It's been months since we've had any input on our Star Wars nicknames because you guys have some good ones. Remember Mike?
Mike
Mike Mothma?
Mike
I
Mothma.
still
don't
like
have a
Mike
good
Skywalker.
Mike.
It feels it's got a ring to it.
It's
Mike
if my name
It's
was
got- it's
if
not
my
Luke,
name was
it's Mike.
Mook, that would be perfect.
Mook
We can
Skywalker.
Mike
Blue Mike?
Blue Mike?
Blue Mike instead of Blue Milk.
Blue Mike.
Mike Stafar?
It's like Prison Mike. What's up, Prison Mike?
Blue Mike.
Why they call me Prison Mike?
Prison Mike.
This guy's the
What's-
Blue Mike of cereal.
Blue Mike? Oh.
Oh,
Blue Mike with cereal.
Grand Mike Tarkin?
Grand Mike Tarkin
Grand
is
Mike
pretty
Tarkin.
darn
That's
That's
not
good.
bad.
That's not
Because
bad.
it's quick. It's quick.
That's what we're looking for. Quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the good
Quick.
nickname is just it's quick.
It's just quick. You
It's
know.
quick.
What was
So-
yours?
I got a couple. Dad Vader is what I am.
Dad
at
Vader's
home.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Uncal.
Jer.
What was it?
Jer Messer. What?
What was it?
Jer
Uncal
Binks.
Plot.
Uncle
Uncle.
Plot.
Uncle Plot.
It's funny if you just say Uncle Plot.
Uncle Plot.
You don't
Uncle
pronounce
Plot.
the cow like Car.
Uncle
Dad
Plot.
Vader. We got a whole Dad Vader. We got,
Yeah, that's
you
good.
know.
That is good.
That's good. You got to have Star Wars names.
Yeah.
That's good. What's yours again? What do you got over there?
IG-88 might be
Yeah,
my favorite.
IG-80 Nate or IG-88, either
88,
one.
yeah.
IG-80 Nate. I had another one too.
Infus,
I
yeah,
couldn't
Infus
remember.
Mess. You were
Enfys
using
Mess.
that.
That's a collective thing. If
Yeah,
we're
that
going
could
off
be
our
any of
last
us.
name, that could be any
That's
of us.
true.
Enfys Mess.
Yep.
Yeah, that used to be one of my. Used to be a username, PlayStation username. Enfys Mess. Pretty
It's great.
solid. It's a good one.
Mine is Mike Do. It's like Ben Do, but it's just Mike.
Mike, dude.
Mike Do. No.
Babu Mike.
Babu Mike.
Babu
Those are the
Mike.
best nicknames.
That's not bad.
Babu Mike.
Babu Mike.
That's not bad at all.
Why is the short Mike just so great?
So something with I don't know if there's a Michael that works on
Michael?
It's not a
Mike
common.
Michael.
Not a common.
The Mikes of Ren.
The Mikes of Ren.
Ooh,
Mikes of Ren.
That's not bad.
That's not good either.
Mike
No,
Calamari.
it's not bad.
not great.
Mike Calamari.
Calamari.
That's pretty good. Nate, where can the people find us?
Mon Calamikey?
I'm voting Grand Mike Tarkin. That's
I like Grand Mike.
Folks, corn pop.
Grand Mike.
No, Funko Pop. Come on. Grand Mike Tarkin.
Derpy's,
Yeah, one for Joe Biden,
Derpy
yeah.
in the chat's still picking his 3. Said I'm going with Background Troopers 1, 2, and 3.
Very good.
It's good. That's good. That's good. I
Yeah.
like it. I like
Yeah.
it.
I'm going with Trooper hits his head, number 1.
Yep.
I'm going with
Trooper hits his head number 2.
Trooper who falls and gives Wilhelm scream in
Yes.
Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
And I'm going Trooper gets taken out by
Sarlacc pit.
no.
Mm.
More intense. Ewok slingshot.
Faster, more intense.
Faster, more intense.
Oh, that's that's good.
That's
Troopers at that point are like, yeah, their heart's not in it anymore.
No,
can't, like,
no,
how
no.
many-
They're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Though.
Even they go,
not their
another
fault.
Death Star? Are we still doing that
I mean,
thing?
we did
Yeah.
that. It didn't
we
work.
did that again.
Yeah.
We're going to do it again.
Let's move on.
This time they blow it up before even done.
Yeah.
At that point.
Actually,
Yeah,
the
it's
second
not-
one's
it's not gonna
probably a
happen.
little easier. You get right to the middle. You don't have to
It's
shoot on
true.
the top. You just go right
No,
inside.
it's we'll go in the back door. What's the back door? You know,
the big
the
open
3/4
hole.
of it that's not done. Let's go right in the middle.
Ray Derpy says raise nobody parents. That random old lady at the end of The Last Jedi with the wait.
Oh,
Who
are you?
Who, for the
Who
first
are
time in
you?
Star Wars history, asks someone's last name.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Like the
No one's ever cared.
and somehow
Who's ever asked me
dialogue of
before?
somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh,
Somehow
that's
Palpatine
good.
returned.
That's pretty solid.
That's
Pretty
pretty
solid.
good.
Yeah, Nate.
So Nate, where can they find us? Where can people find us?
Thanks for tuning
That's
in,
gonna
guys,
be one of
to
our
Star
shirts,
Couldn't
by
it
the
be
way.
some version of Snoke? Mike? Just Mike?
Just
Supreme Leader Mike.
Supreme Leader Mike.
Mike. I feel like there's.
It's got to be a connection.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
feel like
Yeah.
there's.
Sorry.
I do feel like there are some names out there that I gotta just go on the Star Wars databank and like just pull up a list.
You
of
could find
names.
something.
Is there not a website where you create? It gives you your Star Wars name.
The Mikes of Ren's not
why
bad.
Why is there not a?
Mikes of Ren. I sound like a
Not as good
barbershop
not as-
quartet or
not as
something.
good
The
as
Mikes
Kylo.
of Ren.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the Mikes of Ren.
The Mikes of Ren.
Not
the
as good
Mikes
as
of
Kylo
Ren.
Ken though.
Kylo Ken is good.
Kylo Ken's
Ken
pretty
Knapsack.
solid.
That's
Ken
really
Kylo
good.
Ken.
Kylo Ken.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh.
By the way, I was just making an announcement.
Yes.
I declare bankruptcy on this.
Kathy
I put
Kennedy.
this out here.
Kathy Kennedy will. Is that not it?
Be on the cast.
It can be now. No, I was gonna say we should. It's not really announcing anything because I'm coming up with this on the spot. One of our merchandise ideas.
Yeah.
We have a few.
Yeah.
You know him
You
well.
know 'em well.
Of course.
Not my cat.
Oh no, you didn't.
And Nate, where can the people find us?
That's pretty
That
good.
would
That's
be
gonna
great.
be one.
You know
That's
well.
gonna be a good one. Nate, where can
That's
the people
good.
find us?
It's not my Kathy.
It'll say Nate, where can the people find us? And then in the back is just what Nate always says, and it's going to be just
It's our
links to our
socials.
social
Our
media handles.
socials.
We'll walk around with our own
That's so
social
great.
media
That's
YouTube
so
channel
good.
and everything.
Nate, where can people find us? Says, hey, I got one more thing to say.
That's true.
Yeah,
Either
that
one
is
works.
good.
Yeah.
Either one works. Yeah.
And then the other T-shirt idea I have is, on the front it says, Andor review episode 5 review. So I'll say review twice. Andor review episode 5 review. No, I messed up. And then on the back, it'll say Eddie, and it'll be
Question mark.
Luthen's body. No, it's gonna
Saying
be
Annie.
Watto's.
Annie.
It's gonna
Annie.
be Luthen's head on Watto's body.
Lenny.
Floating.
Imagine Luthen.
Cassian Andy.
Oh man,
Andy.
Man.
this is Andy. Did you say Andy?
Cassie and Andy.
Yeah. This is not
Could
funny
we
to
do
anyone
Kathy
watching.
Kennedy?
Alright.
Could we
This
do
is not
Kathy
funny to
Kennedy
anyone watching.
in
It's just
a Sith or a Jedi?
Ooh.
You could choose. You
That's
see
good.
Kathy either way. You put Kathy in a,
Oh,
in a
Either
Jedi
way.
or a Sith, and it
Wait.
says, "Not my Kathy." That's what it says.
Oh man, that's great.
this is the Anakin Vader.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
with
it's
the apple.
Kathy and Kathy on this side. It's just
Light
like
it.
red Kathy, blue Kathy.
It's Kathy and then the yellow eye.
Hey, I
kinda.
like Kathy.
I like
Kennedy. I'm
it.
just kidding.
Yeah.
We
Hey,
do too. The
we're-
reason we say that
we're
is we
gonna-
defend Kathleen Kennedy. We're huge
Yeah.
fans of Kathy.
She made my whole childhood, most of it.
She definitely did. George Lucas murdered mine. No, that's what some people say. Hilarious. Imagine if Kathleen Kennedy made your childhood, but George Lucas murdered it.
Yeah, that's something.
You have some problems.
Yeah.
And that's
Nate?
one of them.
What are
Very
people's
nice.
problems? No, sorry.
Yep.
Thanks. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
done.
There we
Turn
go.
it off.
Third time's a charm. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We appreciate it. You can always find us on Instagram. That's at Star Wars Guys Pod on Instagram. We post some updates and things on there. Otherwise, if you're not already following or subscribed to the channel here on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, smash the notification bell so you guys know when we will be live. We're going live as of now, continuing our live, which we've been pretty consistent.
We
Of
been.
live
We had a good streak.
every Wednesday. We'll be live every Wednesday doing our Andor review and moving
And
forward.
or something
And/or
else.
something
Ooh.
else. So as always, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll catch you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you.
You're slouching, honey. Sit up. You always such a good boy. But Ma, any closer, you'd be Ma. Any closer, you'd be Ma.
I wanted Cocoa Pops.